Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station on the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channels. I am so excited to be here with you today. We're going to have some fun with foiling. I was playing around with everything and I had to foil all the things. So I hope that you guys have I hope that you guys have a little bit of fun and that this inspires you as well. And we have Han with us today. Happy Monday, Han. It's so great to see you. And I'm so excited. And I agree, Han, we had some early birds in here today. So Roxy already and Alicia. And Alicia, thank you for sharing this. If you share this while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And Han will be pulling that winner at the end of our episode. And Tracy and Saskia is here. And Sue, how are you doing? Are you loving the sunshine or what? Spring has definitely sprung where we live, Sue. And 42 Rosie, hello. And Cindy. And I am so excited. And Pamela's here while riding in a camper. Pamela, are you crafting while you're riding? Are you coloring while you're riding? What is happening? And Melly is here. And Cindy is here from sunny San Diego. It is gorgeous over there. And Helen, how are you doing, Helen? Helen, how was the coronation? I bet you watched that. I watched a little bit too. And Norma and Brianna and Cece from Sweden, good evening. And Morel, it's so nice. And Cynthia and Nancy, I saw you yesterday, Nancy. It's so nice that you're here again. And thank you again for sharing this. If you share this while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And so thank you, Roxy, for sharing. And Tina, I'm so glad that you are here. So I'm excited. Yes. Oh, that's so nice, Sue. We were outside too. It's really wonderful now that the sun is finally here. And Stacy, who always is getting sun down in South Florida. And Shiomara is here. And it's so nice. And Maggie is probably beautiful where you are too right now. And Norma is here too. So I'm so excited that you guys are here today. So I have some graduation cards that I have to make coming up. So that was kind of my focus for today. And so I'm doing one card that's kind of generic, but I thought the other card could be switched to like have the students like school colors. So I think that you could add that in there. So let me go ahead and get started because I got a lot to do. And I would like to know in the chat, let me know, do you foil? Is foiling something that you love? Is foiling something that you love to hate? Is foiling something that you're just kind of afraid of and you're like, I haven't gotten on that train. So let me know. Let me know. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my camera down. Here we go. And there we are. So these are my two projects and I have a little bit of an issue. Oh, good. Not going to crash while you're going down the road. That's true, Pam. I always like to color on the go. So that's why I was asking. And Helen, I agree with the pageantry. It was beautiful and it was amazing to watch. Oh, and Sue, you haven't foiled. This may jump you on the bandwagon, but I also, I'm going to show you some other things. So let me know. So these, and I know it's the camera and you guys are like, you know, that's so cool. But we got some foiling going on so you can kind of see it. And I'm going to talk a little bit because I have some bad news about this foil plate that I used is no longer in stock. So don't look at the background. I'm going to use a different one today. And this is a great, but so the school colors that I'm going for are red and white. So I thought this would be really nice as a graduate card. So that looks great. Oh yeah. And Roxy, Duo Paste. It's nice though. The laminator is fabulous. And thanks, Bethany. And Nancy, yeah, I know, Nancy, not into foiling. Well, you can do shiny other ways if you like to, but I agree with you, Pam. Sometimes it's a little hit or miss, and I have to say I'm going to share the things, hopefully some tips and tricks. I'm still learning as well, but I don't know if you can kind of see it. So this is the Vibrant Florals set. It's really pretty, and you can see the outline of this with that shine on there. And then I just use tape. That's all this is just tape on the side. And I'll show you how to do that as well. And this, and then this comes with its own stencil. All right, so we will go ahead and get onto this. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Melly. I'm going to show you how to do these. But first up, I wanted to know, I don't know if you know this or not, but Altenew actually has their own line of foils. And so I have all of them here. I'm only going to use a couple of these. But I like them. And I actually get very consistent results with these versus some of the other foils that I have. And so, but these are really super nice. And that Vibrant Florals that Han just put on here, really great set. You probably have it somewhere that you purchased a while ago, but it's a really, really pretty set. So what I like about all these, because gold comes in all of these shades and they're really, really nice. So this brass one, let me just take this out so you can see it. I haven't used it yet, mainly because I'm in love with the brush gold, but that's the brass. It's really, really pretty. And then it comes, oh, there's little stickers on it that don't, there we go. Gonna put that back. You know me, I have to put everything back in its original packaging. Rose gold, which I have used multiple times. Absolutely beautiful. And you have both of those sets, of course, Ellen. Oh, that's so great. Thanks, Bethany, for sharing this link. You know you will, Alicia. You know you will. And then this is the brush gold, and I'm just going to compare it next to the enchanted gold. And the enchanted gold is just a little bit brighter, and I think I used both of these today, but I am in love with enchanted gold. So let me just put these two side by side. I know you're like, they look exactly the same, but this is the brush gold. It's just a little, it's brushed. It's brush gold. And this is enchanted gold, so it's a little bit warmer and a little bit shiny. So that way you can actually see kind of the difference and shoot for them. There's only 4. They do hold quite a bit, I think. I compared them with my other one. So there's 15 feet that you get in here. And they're 5 inches wide on each of the rolls, but really, really nice. So I want to start first. So we're going to foil. I'm going to foil the things. And the 2 things that I'm going to foil is I'm going to foil the background here of a card. And I'm also going to foil the Vibrant Florals. So let's go ahead and get that going. Now, I have your foiling machine may be different than mine. So just keep that in mind. I have the Gemini hot foil press, and I'm going to pop my screen out so you can see this bad boy here. And obviously you use whatever foiling machine that you have. Don't look over on the side. That's all my goodie pile. That's my goodie pile. All right, but here we go. Here's my little machine here. And I am going to use a couple of things. Let me get all my stuff out of my goodie pile right here. That's my tape for later. Oh, thank you so much, Pamela, for sharing. You too can be like Pamela and be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. All right. I know, Bethany, there's lots of goodies in that pile. You can't look right now, though. All right. So we have Vibrant Foil. So it comes with a hot foil plate, and it also comes with a simple coloring stencil. And I'm going to show you today how to use that stencil, but to get some, different variation looks. But we're going to use this plate. Now, this thing, this guy's big. All right. This is bigger than an A2 card. It would be perfect for a 5x7. Of course, in my country, if you want to it's a little bit more to have a 5x7, but just to show you on an A2 page how big this guy is. So this is my A2 size paper. And so he kind of hangs out over the edge. So feel free, you can kind of move this around because you're not going to fit them all on there. That's really pretty. I just go ahead and stuck it right in the middle because I wanted as much of that there as possible. So I'm going to take, now my guy's been heating up. It seems like I have to kind of like jack up the time and the temperature a little bit. So I know a lot of it's about 30 seconds. Mine does better at 45. I don't know why, but it just does. These are also pretty big plates. So my guy's been heating up, so he's hot. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. So there's the die side up, and it's right there. Okay. And now I'm going to grab my foil, and I want to use the Enchanted Gold because I think it is gorgeous. Do I? Yes, I do. All right. I apologize. I was having a game day decision right there. I was about to go for rose gold. You know what? Sorry, guys. I'm going rose gold. I'm changing it up. I just saw it there and it was crying out to me. It said, use me today. So rose gold it is, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Cynthia. It's a nice look. So I got I have an option today that if you don't have this, this whole thing, I can show you how to get some other looks. Yeah, it's nice, Jane. And it's a nice thing to have. And there's some really great products that have come out with with the hot foiling. And I do like to use it. And I don't, I do it for like special occasions like birthdays and stuff. But kind of the way I think about it is if I'm foiling, I'm going to foil a whole bunch of things. All right, so you can see I'm over on the side, and this is kind of how I do it, is I just grab my longest pair of scissors and I just cut. And I just cut off a piece. I apologize, I'm doing this off screen just so it's a little bit closer to me. Foil and me cutting is a little bit of an art and mostly a failure, but I do the best I can. All right, so there's my rose gold piece. I'm just going to put this back in my little package. Right, Tracy? I love the rose gold. Well, when I did this, I was going to make orange flowers, and I ended up going with like a pink and Martian Train, and I used the brush gold on this. But I'm like, maybe I kind of want to use the rose gold because I think that's going to look prettier. All right, so I just get that foil. I'm putting that pretty side down. And then I just have a piece of A2 cardstock. Now, I know this image is way bigger than my cardstock, so I'm going to kind of do my best to just place this as square as I can on here. All right. Now, my machine, because I've been using it and I kind of know it, I know it does better with like a little paper shim. So I just have a really thin piece of copy paper here. And just making sure everything's lined up. And then I have my plate. Of course, every single foiling machine comes with the derogatory when you are trying it out and you put the stuff on wrong thing. So you know what? It's kind of pretty. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my start button. So that's going to do my countdown. We're going to talk while I do that. So my next card is actually going to be this one, but I'm going to swap out that background. And the background I'm going to use is called Exquisite Marble Hot Foil Plate. This is beautiful. This is a big plate. It's like a 5.5 by 5.5 plate. It's a big plate, so it makes a nice big. I love using this for tags, and it's so versatile. The one that I used here is called Splatter, and I apologize that when I picked it out of my stash, I didn't check to see that it was discontinued. So if you can find this anywhere, super awesome, but this is a great alternative. So I'm going to use this one as well here. All right, we are done. So it's yelling at me. So now I'm going to grab it, and all I'm going to do here is just run this right through my Gemini machine. So you can see I'm picking it up very carefully, and I apologize, I have to do this off camera. So I'm going to have you look at this beautiful card over on the side while I run this through my machine. And here we go. So let me know in the comments, foiling, yay, nay, or maybe. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. Now this machine, unless it's plugged in, it doesn't heat it up. So I'm just going to keep it nice and hot there. And these are warm. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off. And now I have my little thing, and I hope to goodness that it works. All right, so there's my little sheet. It's all done. And I hope that I did this right. Ready? Everybody's praying for me? Oh, of course, because I'm doing this on live, it looks terrible. All right, let me try that one more time again. And I think I got to bump that up to the next step. Sometimes my machine, it seems to need a little bit more heat. So we're going to do that one more try. So I'm going to try this again. So love to foil. And Teresa's here. Oh, great. Foiling, again, it's something that is, it just gives that little bit of oomph. And so that's where I'm kind of thinking about, because I'm like, this is something that, these are graduation cards. So I wanted them to be just a little bit special. I give graduation cards to my students, and I have some really, really awesome seniors who are graduating this year and have been really great. And I've known them for quite some time. So it's been really great to know them. All right, I'm going to try this again. Okay, ready? Are we ready for attempt 2? All right, I'm going to grab this piece. Let's scoot up. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more pressure. That's good, because I actually needed a piece of... All right, now this is going to be my 45 seconds. And I'd love to know if anybody else has the Gemini machine or you think I should switch out. Yeah, I know, right? Distressed foil look. It totally is, Helen, right? Although you have to say, Helen, this is a UK product, so I don't know how you're feeling about that, but it's totally the Gemini on me. It's not me. I hope so. I hope so, Audrey. It's something that is, it's kind of neat. It just gives like a little special touch. And Altenew has some really neat foil products, especially like some of the sentiments. I didn't grab those today because I wanted to focus on kind of like the larger pieces, but they have some really cute sentiments that are foiled, and they are really great. Oh my gosh, Teresa, you have both of these? You have both? Do you like one over another, Teresa? Because I haven't got the Spellbinders one. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. And in we go. All right, attempt number 2. This sometimes does happen when I foil. I don't know what it is, but usually if I jack up the temperature in a little bit of the time, it helps out a little bit. All right, so these are my little extra pieces. Put them over on the side. And I'm going to grab this. Okay, here we go. So there's my foiled. I have a feeling this might be a little bit better. Oh, are we ready? Gorgeous. All right, so there we are. Gorgeous. So yes, absolutely, Audrey. If you have it and you can die cut that, that is great. And they give the same look. I think what I like about this look is it's not raised. It's really pressed into the paper. And that's why I really like that look. So it's just really, really nice. Gorgeous. All right. So we're going to do one more piece of foiling, and then we're going to get rid of our foil plate. So my little machine comes with this little thing. It's a little magnetic. So I'm going to grab this. This is hot. Don't touch it with your bare hands. And I have a little mat over here so I don't burn my desk. All right. So now I'm going to switch over to the Exquisite Marble Hot Foil plate. And like I said, this sucker is big. So he's a big guy. Let me show you what I mean. Beautiful, though. So really big. So just in comparison to an A2 size card, it's right under it. So really, really super nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this down as straight as I can. And same thing. Now I want to use the brush gold this time. No, I want to use enchanted gold. I'm going enchanted gold today. So I'm going to grab a piece of enchanted gold. And again, long scissors are really the best for this. So I grab my longest pair of scissors and I just roll it out and I cut. And like I had said before, I was, when I first started kind of dabbling into this foiling business, I was really frustrated. And the Altenew foils, I have to say, they really did help with my success rate with foiling. And I also, there's not, red and all these other colors. It is definitely gold, but that's Altenew. And I just love all the fact that you have 4 different types of golds, or brass, and then the 3 golds. They're so nice. All right, so that's my foil. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And again, this is a big plate. So that's why my machine, for some reason where I live, just needs a little bit more oomph to it. So here's my paper, and I'm just kind of figuring out where the heck is the edge of that plate. And I'm just going to put this right down on it. Okay, and then I'm going to add my other items in my little piece here. My extra piece. All right, I'm going to check in the comments. Yes, here we go. And then we're going to do our countdown. And anybody's got the Jeopardy theme song? Oh, I think that's a minute, though. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Tina. Pamela, this plate foiled with, and I use it for tags. It is gorgeous with tags. Because I like to cut it up, and I cut it up into pieces, and the tags just look, they're so pretty because they're just so cool. Because it's such an abstract looking background. So this is the card that we're working on now, is this little guy here on that one. Okay, so we're almost down, almost there, almost there. All right, large scissors away before I hurt myself. And I'm just cleaning up my area. And here we go. All right, so now I'm done foiling. I have no more foiling, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off so it can cool itself down. And, or I shouldn't have done that, huh? Should have waited. That's all right. This will come out, I know. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this back in and push all my stuff over to the side. Now I'm going to save my scrap foil pieces, by the way. I'm going to save those because I'm going to need those for something else I have planned for you guys today. Okay, that's there. And because I end up sometimes using a little pressure, I sometimes go through the thing there. All right. All right, so I'm going to move this little machine out of my way so I can get some work done. So goodbye, little machine. Up. All right, are we ready for the reveal? Who's doing the drum roll out there for me? I think this one came out good. Oh, I overfoiled. Darn it. That's all right. I can get rid of that. That's easy. All right, so I overfoiled a little bit. So when you overfoil, you actually can take an eraser, and let me grab my sanding eraser, and I can go over these little bits, or I can keep them for an abstract look. It's really up to you, but this will go ahead and pop these pieces off. So if I were to do this a second time, I would know it probably doesn't need as much pressure as I put on there. Fortunately, I am going for that abstract look. So I'm going to be okay with just kind of knocking these down a little bit. And I have my gigantic sentiment that I'm going to put over there. I'm going to keep that part. So because our school colors are red, I actually wanted to add a little bit of red to this. And so I am going to just grab, and I apologize, I'm using Altenew packaging, which means that it's going to be even prettier, if that's possible. And I have some ruby red ink spray. You actually, Suzanne, can use it on any die. You can hot foil with any die. The issue, or the thing that with the hot foil plates, and I'll show you with the Vibrant foils because I think I can touch it now. I don't know if you can see it or not in the camera. These are thicker. So these lines are thicker than a die. And that means that they're depositing more foil. So if I do a die, it's just a thinner line. So if you do the die, you're just going to use a thinner line. That's all. Yeah, I know, Tracy. Here it goes. This plate looks forgiving because you want it to be kind of abstract. All right, so I got my spray. I'm not going to go crazy here. I'm just going to dab. And I'm just adding a little bit of red to this background. Again, because our school colors are red. So I was just thinking if you have a blue, oops, that was a nice splat. If you have blue, if you have anything, like green, you can add that on here because that gold is neutral. There we go. That's what I was looking for. It's a little bit like a murder scene now. Go crazy, please. There it goes. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of iridescent because you always need a little bit of iridescent. And then I'm just going to set this aside and I'm going to work on Vibrant Florals and just let this dry. And iridescent is so pretty because you can't really see it until it's kind of moves in there. Red and gold, right? It's so nice. Actually, Helen, it's like the coronation. I should have thought about that. I didn't connect those two. All right, so now what I'm going to do, so here's all my foil. I'm going to put those to the side. I am going to go ahead and grab my stamp wheel. And I don't need this part of my stamp wheel right now, so I'm going to set that aside. And what I'm going to do is I am actually going to stencil. So the Vibrant Foils comes with this hot foil plate. And it also comes with what's called a simple coloring stencil. And a simple coloring stencil means that it's not a layered stencil. And instead, it just kind of adds one layer on. Instead of being like building up layer after layer after layer, it's just one layer. And so what's nice about the Vibrant Florals is you can get this variety of colors and do whatever you want to. So the way that they have in the image in here, you can see that there's a section that lays down light purple, a dark purple, a very dark purple in the center, and then the leaves. But I'm going to switch that up just a little bit. So the first thing that I do with any of my stencils is I number them because I am blind and I can't see the number because it's too light. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go ahead and add this on. And I can stencil this without hurting that foil. So you can see how that just fits perfectly. And the stamp wheel is great to stencil on because this will stick. I don't need any tape. I don't need anything. I am going to use the mini blending brushes, and I wanted to make these like red because, again, it's red. So I grabbed the red Cosmos set, and I'm going to use the colors Frosty Pink, Ruby Red, and Coral Berry just on this stencil. So just for this stencil, I'm going to use those colors. Oh, that's so great, Pamela. You're going to love it. Love it. And thank you, Becky. This thing has been great. I've been kind of exploring it, using it in different ways. So I've done repeat stamping now, and I have also done the stenciling. And my next thing that I want to play with is the wreath. So I might show that one time on here is how to use this with the wreath. That's my next step. And then I'm really excited about the mirror stamping because that's something I've always wanted to do because I like doing critters, and it's nice if you have like, kissing critters or something like that. And it's hard to do unless you have a big, huge stamp. Excuse me. So, by the way, Han is waiting for you to tell her that where you have shared this live while we're live. And she is tallying up those, and she will be announcing the winner of our gift card at the end of our show today. So here we go. All right. And add those questions in there. Let me know what you think about foiling. I want to know if you have the Vibrant Florals. This is fabulous. By the way, I have a tendency, I hold because I use them in the ink cubes, so I end up when I stencil, I hold it in my hand, but I don't have to. This will actually stick here. So I actually don't have to use this. So I'll put the coral berry there. So see, it's not moving. All right, so I'm just going to start off the middle, and I'm just going to go up with the coral berry. So this is the second darkest color in the red Cosmos set. And I'm not going straight. You can kind of see. Let me go in a little bit, guys. I apologize. I'm going to zoom in. So if this makes you a little sick, I apologize. Here we go. I think I need better batteries in this. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Pamela. I hope she or he joined to let them know what we're doing today, that we are playing with foil. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of going up one of the sides, and I'm not going all the way up. I want to make sure that I preserve the tip of my petal. So you can see that it's dark, so that coral berry is up there, but it's like about halfway up, okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing with my other flowers. And this time I did, also because of the simplicity of the live, but I kept my flowers, all three flowers, the same. But feel free to vary those flowers. Flowers are different in nature, and they tend to be different even on the same plant. So feel free to vary them and do one that is, a little bit more pinky red, maybe one that's a little orangey red, maybe a little one that's a purpley red. And so you can do all those in for that. Okay, where's my lid? Here we go. So you can see, and this guy, whoop, he's stuck. All right, so I'm just going to take my brush, and what I do is I just wipe it off on my microfiber cloth, and that's good. Yeah, thanks, Cindy. Wait till we put it, wait till we lift it. It's going to be like, what? Now, I got some ruby red coming in. Ruby red's pretty dark. As you saw when I ink sprayed and I got splatters everywhere, and now I have magical ruby red dots everywhere. So ruby red, I'm going to be careful with this. I want to tap this up, and then I want to start moving up. And I'm trying to make sure that I preserve that coral berry as much as I can. Now, I got a little trick. There's some spaces. These are a little bit, you can see it's getting a little crazy. So I actually am going to grab my detail blending brushes, and I'm going to grab the middle one, which is the size 7. And this is fabulous because I can get that same look without that kind of harsh line that my other mini blending brush was giving me. So I want to go really dark and layer on that ruby red in the middle. All right, here we go. And here we go. And now I'm going to come in and you can see the difference. So this one I did with the mini, and here I'm just going in with that detail blending brush. Oh yeah, Roxanne, the sprays. It was something that I didn't think I needed, and then I got them, and now I use them. And I love making. They're really quick and easy to make backgrounds. And then I just die cut the backgrounds. I die cut tags out of them. I die cut words out of them. I die cut a lot of stuff out of them. And I just kind of have this bin of backgrounds that I've made with sprays. And I thought about, I was really careful. I'm not a, what do they call it? A completist. I don't ever feel the need to complete a set. I'm just not that way. I've never really been that way. So I'm just kind of careful about the things that I grab. So yeah, just start off with a few colors. Get the iridescent because that one's really nice. You know, it's really, really super nice. Thanks. I appreciate that, Becky. I appreciate that. All right. I'm going to very carefully, see how sticky it is? Be careful on that one. I'm going to very carefully just take the ink off of here. And then I'm going to grab the ink that's here and I'm just going to kind of smoosh it just in the center. So I'm just taking the ink that's already there and just adding it to my project just to get that extra ink off. Okay, here we go. All right, so you can see you have that highlight piece and then you have that, piece that is a little bit still white. And by the way, ruby red and these reds, they love to stay on your craft supply. So I'm taking a second before I move on and just making sure, and I'm just wiping it off. So I'm just literally wiping that off. I didn't use water. I didn't use alcohol, nothing. I'm just wiping it off. All right, so now I'm going to come in with the second petal. And so here is stencil number 2. So I'm just going to rotate that. And I'm using these centers until it kind of clicks into place. Okay, there we go. And I want to point out that you see how the stencil is sticking over so it's on top of the plastic part. It doesn't matter because there's enough, as long as there's like a good 1/4 of an inch, that stencil is not going to move. So this will stick it down well. Okay, so on this one, I'm actually going to switch. So I'm not going to do these petals the same color with the red cosmos. I'm actually going to move it over to Martian terrain. So I have pastel sunrise, I have canyon clay, and I have burnt red, and I'm going to do the same thing again. And in fact, I'm even going to use the same brush. So I just take this and I just kind of clean it off, and then I just double check it on a piece of paper. Looks clean to me. And then I'm moving on. All right, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the same thing. So this is pastel sunrise, and I'm going to go in starting from that middle, and I'm going to go all the way up. So this one I'm doing 100% coverage, and then the next one I do like 60% coverage, and then the last color I am doing like 25 to even a little bit less percent coverage. And you could do this backwards if you wanted to. I think with this flower, it looks better with the darker sections being towards the middle of the flower. Okay. I love this. So pretty. And I always like to change things up. So I like to change up my colors. It's just one of those things. If the eye has to continue to focus, the brain will be interested. And that is what I'm trying to do. So it's going to give this really, really pretty look as we go. And I like these two colors together. I was going to pick like a purpley pink, but the Martian terrain is kind of like an orangey red. And I thought that these two looked really nice together. All right, so now I'm going to come in with Canyon clay. So for this one, I'm going to go about 60, well, probably even less. I'd say about halfway up. Start in that middle, and I'm going halfway up. And I'm kind of trying to hit to the side, and that will give it just a little bit of something different. It does clean up easily, and I'm assuming, Becky, you're talking about the stamp wheel. The stamp wheel cleans up easily because this is pretty much a stamp. That's what this thing is in the background. It's a photopolymer stamp. So like your stamps, you'd clean it the same way. Just run it under some soap and water and you're good to go. I will say I did happen to, unfortunately, I did happen to stain mine with some reds because I don't know what it is about reds. They like to stain. But you know what? It's okay. And they even sell this mat you can actually purchase. So if you're want to get a second mat or for whatever reason, they actually sell that. All right, so that's that one. Oh, Leslie, I'm so glad you're here. We are foiling today, Leslie, and thank you for reminding me that I need to let people know what we're doing. So we are at Amy's Inspiration Station, and right now I'm using Vibrant Florals, and I am stenciling. I have foiled with them, and now I am stenciling with them. All right, so this is the burnt red. And burnt red, it's a little bit more orangey than the ruby red. Ruby red is that like beautiful, gorgeous, like Marilyn Monroe red lipstick red. And this is not. This is more like 1970s lipstick red, that orange to it, a little bit of an orange. So I'm using that detail brush, just giving, again, you can see I'm going about, I'd say 25% up. And I'm trying to figure out where there would be some darker regions. And again, I'm going kind of to the side. I'm not going straight up. I'm going to the side. Because where that edge is of the stencil, it's going to deposit a little bit more of my ink. And I always start in the middle. And then, so on the plastic, and then I go up. And that's going to reduce my harsh lines. But you still get them. It's okay. Oh, yeah. Are we talking about sprays? Thank you, Audrey. The sprays, they are definitely tough to clean up. They definitely, I will say, I end up sometimes spraying not in a box because my husband threw it out. I had my splat box, and I don't know if that's happened to anyone else. And he was, just helping me clean up the craft room. And he's like, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, where's my splat box? I don't know where it is. I need that. And it was gone. And he had thrown out my splat box. And I'm like, oh, fabulous. That's great. All right. So again, I'm just kind of wiping this off on my microfiber cloth. I'm not really doing anything super crazy with it. Just getting that ink off of there. And that's just going to go right back in here. And then I have that little mini, and I'm just doing the same thing where I'm just taking the ink off and just throwing it on my project. Okay. All right, there we go. So there's the burnt red. So those are the flowers. So we got the flowers done. So I'm going to take off the stencil. Now this one here actually has another part. So I just want to take a moment just to look at these flowers. Gorgeous. So you can see that shine that's on there. And then I love it with the red. So pretty. The red and the pink. This guy is the smallest of the flower centers, and he was a little tricky to line up. But what I noticed is there's a little leaf right there. And that leaf obviously needs to be covered. And I just kind of started messing around, and there's this little shark tooth looking thing. Looks like a shark tooth. And that I put on top of the leaf. So then I use a Sharpie, and I just kind of make a notification that is where it goes. And you can kind of moosh it around to where it would fit. And I want to point out again, this is the beauty of this stamp wheel, is I only need a little bit of a small section. If you're nervous about that section, you can add just a little bit of tape. Not nervous. I'm doing okay. Doing all right with it. Not a problem. I want to throw in Citrus First Maple Yellow. So now the stamp the stencil guide tells you to use your darkest color of like these are all the purple and to put that darkest one in there. I made a decision not to do that. I made a decision that what I wanted to do was to make it yellow. And so I'm going to go in with yellow. Now, yellow, just be mindful if you decided that you wanted, purple on here, yellow and purple is going to make brown. So just be mindful that I'm actually, the purpose is that it is supposed to go over the petals that are already there. And then I'm going to come in. So that was Citrus Burst I just used, which is the lightest yellow in Pocket Full of Sunshine. And then this is Maple Yellow. And I'm just going to grab just off the edge of my blending brush. And now I'm going to go in from the edges. So I'm going to keep the center light. And I'm going in from the edges. Now this means that I'm getting yellow where I had that ruby red and where I had the other red, but it's not a super big deal. Oh, thanks, Becky. It is easy. You can do this. And yes, Cordelia, isn't it great? I love that. Thanks, Alicia. This is really a nice set. This is a really nice set. And you can even just get the stencil and then just draw the lines in for the petals, There's actually an example on the website where somebody just used the stencil. Really cool. All right, so this is the last stencil, and then we're going to make a card out of this one. And so this is the leaf stencil. And what you're looking for is this headdress looking up thing here, and that's the headdress right there. So that's kind of how I line this up, is the headdresses. And just kind of position it right into place. Now it also is doing the flower centers for the other two flowers. And so that's good to know as well that you have those two. So I'm going to start there since I ended there. And I'm just going to focus on the middle. This is Citrus Burst. And it is just that lightest yellow. And I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going in with Maple Yellow. And yeah, Tina. Do you have this set? Vibrant Flowers? Have you used it? Let me know. It's one I have, and I just haven't pulled it out because I have to do the foiling thing. And I'm still reorganizing my craft room, so it's still kind of crazy in there. All right, so now I'm going to come in with green. This was a big debate for me because greens to me have like a bunch, like greens can be green olive, greens can be green blue, greens can be green. And so I had a really tricky time with how I wanted to do this. And I decided to keep it a little simple, which I know is not always me, but I'm going to keep it a little bit simple. No, I want it now. Check this one out, Tina. I know there's some sort of sale the girls have been chatting about today. And this one on this sale, I think this one's nice. If you're into foiling and stuff, really, really nice and pretty. All right, so I'm going to come in with Silver Sage. These are the fresh dye inks. I am loving this green set of inks. Absolutely loving this. So this is the lightest color. And I'm just coming in, and I'm going to do this the same way as the flowers, where I'm kind of giving this a full coat. So I'm coming in everywhere with this Silver Sage. I mean, it's just nice. And I like these two because they're soft. They're greeny greens, but they have a little hint of blue. And they're soft. So if you have this really, 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 really vibrant color, this will complement it. And if you have a very soft color, this will work with it too. So I kind of like these greens, and I really, really like this set of greens. All right, so I'm doing the same thing. Here's my last two flower leaves, my last two leaves. Okay, and now I'm going to come in, and I'm going to come in with the jade. Forest Fern in this set is really dark. It's very dark. And so I'm actually going to avoid the Forest Fern, but I am going to go into the eucalyptus. You could also add a touch of blue here. And since the inks are translucent, meaning that light, well, they can layer on top of each other, they're not they're not like pigments that lay on top of each other. You could add a little blue and that will change some of your petals. These guys need to be a little bit darker. Okay, so that's the jade. And then I'm going to come in with the eucalyptus after that. Same thing again. And I could use my blending brush, my detail blending brushes, but I'm just going to stick with the mini. The mini is actually versatile. You can kind of twist it and turn it and get it into places that you didn't really think possible. You can do a lot with this guy. So he's pretty good. And I tend to use these more than the other brushes. And they have a permanent. By the way, I wanted to show you how I'm storing them. This, believe it or not, is the little case you get in the marker box. So I just recycled my cases from the marker box, and that's where I keep my blending brush. Little trick for you today. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to peel this guy up. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. So this again is the Vibrant Floral set. So all I need right now is just a sentiment. This is perfect. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And you can see the nice colors we added. And even though that's a simple coloring stencil, you can, by layering your colors on top of each other and not going fully up the petal or the leaf, you can actually get this really nice contrast look that you could get with a layering stencil. But that's not a layering stencil. That's a simple stencil. All right, I'm going to grab my sentiment set, which I brought in the bold sentiment set. And I know you guys are like, Amy, look to your right. Amy, look to your left. And for those of you who said right, you were correct. All right, so the bold sentiment set, because this is so pretty and it's so delicate, is I think I wanted to add something that's just a little bit heavier. And so I needed a piece of, so I just got like a piece of scrap that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to put this right on here. I'm going to be cutting this out with a pair of scissors. And so it's not a big super deal. And I'm going to grab Sending Sunshine Your Way. And it doesn't matter that this is straight or not straight because I'm going to cut it out with scissors. So it really doesn't matter either way. All right, so now I'm going to grab my stamp wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and tap this in. And I love this because when I pick this up, paper doesn't come with it. Paper doesn't come with it. Love it. All right, and I have my best black, which is Obsidian. And I'm just going to put this right down, and I'm just going to ink this up. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. This, I hope this inspires you to try some foiling. And go ahead when you're, I know there's some awesome sales that are going on right now on altenew.com that I have to jump in and get some stuff today because I cannot resist a good sale. And if this stamp set, fabulous, Vibrant Florals, check out the foil. Even the foil, and I'm going to show you guys a trick right now. I just want to say one time, don't need to restamp. Fabulous. Oh, thanks, Tina. Thank you guys so much, Cindy. All right, that's going to go over here on the side. So I'm going to let this be because the Obsidian, although dry to the touch, does, I'm going to smear it. I know you guys are all talking to me about that. So I'm going to just set that aside for a second. And now we're going to pay attention to this. So I created a little card base, and I thought this would look really pretty backed with blue. Now, this thing is massive. It's big. And so I'm actually going to cut it down. So I apologize for you, to everybody out there, is I'm actually going to cut this. And the reason why I want to cut this is because I want to add a little detail strip because my flowers are kind of, they're floating. So I want to give them a place to land. Now, for that strip, the easiest way, because I can add a little bit of my extra foil, is I'm going to grab some of the Altenew Ultra Adhesive Sticky Tape. And this is the 1/4 inch. So I'm going to grab a piece of the 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to lay that in a strip on the side of my card base. And if I could find the edge, that would be fabulous. So I'm going to use my mat. And this, by the way, is the Altenew Grid Mat. And the reason why I love it is because of this center. I can go ahead and make sure that my card fits exactly where I want it to fit. And I'm going to grab a little bit of satin tape, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that is stuck down. So I can just grab a little bit of it and just stick it down on the side. And you can reuse these again and again and again. And then I'm just going to grab a piece of this, and using the lines on my mat, I am just going to line this up. And I got to look over, so I apologize if I get in the way of anything or anybody. So I'm just going to line this up. That looks pretty good. And I'm just going to use my bone folder. Maybe I'm going to use my bone folder to put this down. Oh, thank you so much, Serena, for sharing this to Facebook. And please, if you are still watching with us and having a great time, and in the next 8 minutes you'd like someone to join, go ahead and let people know what we are doing, and you will be entered to win a $15 gift card. And the lovely Han is behind the badge today. And she is putting in those links. And check it out, the Vibrant Florals. Absolutely fabulous card. Love it. Love the foils. And the foils, all the foils that we use today. So I used the rose gold and I used the enchanted gold. Of course, brush gold was on my mind, but I didn't end up using it. All right. So do you remember that I had some extra pieces of foil? So I got these little extras over here, and I even have the extra from the Exquisite Marble that I had. So I got some extras. I did this with rose gold, so I'm going to use the rose gold extras I have. So I'm just going to make sure this is down nice on adhered to my card. I'm going to pull this up. So I know you can't see that right now, or maybe you can kind of see it. So I'm going to grab a little bit of my extra, and I'm just going to grab that edge, and I'm just going to put it right over it. And you can kind of see the tape maybe coming through, and then I'm just going to burnish it. So I'm just burnishing it, just making sure that that foil is stuck to that tape. And I can kind of see it, the foil coming off. Ta-da! Foil without heat. Foil, foil, foil. Foil trick. Yes, Audrey, right? This is great. And if you have little extra pieces that just like didn't make it the first time, you may have a little bit of stick in there. So I can just kind of fix those little sections and just go over them again with an extra piece of my foil. And that way I'm using all these little scraps. So I'm not throwing this completely out, but I'm using all these little scraps. All right, so now I'm going to grab my card, and I think I want to chop off this edge a little bit. All right, so for those of you who don't want to watch this, I'm letting you know right now, I'm about to cut this card. I'm about to cut this. And yes, Teresa, this is a great way to use all that foil. I do it too because I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I'm going to cut that a little bit more. I think I want that other leaf out. There we go. Okay. And now I am going to just add a little bit of adhesive to this. And we got it. Yes, paper screams. Thank you. I know it's hard. I know it's hard for you guys to see that sometimes when you're like, no, don't do that. The panel, it will be okay. I cannot cut a stamp. I will tell you that I cannot cut a stamp. I can cut paper, but I have a wicked hard time cutting a stamp. All right, here we go. So just add a little bit of glue. Could have put that on my blue card base, but that's okay. Now this is not raised because it's tape, so it's flat. It's kind of like it's part of the card itself versus if I, took and added on an actual piece of cardstock, of metallic cardstock. So it's a little bit different than that. Okay, so I'm just going to go right there, and then I got some extras. So first thing I'm going to do, because I didn't put glue over here, is just add a little bit of glue on the edge. And then I'm going to cut this with my gigantic scissors. I know, sorry guys. All right, and then I'm going to turn it around and you will all be happy again. I know this is hurting you. Look away, look away, look away. Okay, there we go. All right. So pretty. And I love it with that kind of like just that little piece. So I still have this. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab this. I'm just going to cut using my gigantic scissors. So just going to cut this. It's really, really super easy to do. I could use my trimmer, but I have a tendency, sometimes I like over or undershoot it. And then you end up with like little tiny pieces and it gets harder. All right, there we go. So now I have that and I will trim that up and we're going to have that on. I'm actually going to use a little bit of tape to put that up. So super pretty, right, Cece, with the gold strip? Thanks, Audrey. I have to say, yes, Cordelia, the ginormous scissors. These are money. These are key. Absolutely key. And I just love it. So that little gold strip, that little extra foil just ties that in and it just looks really, really pretty. All right. I have about 3 minutes. So I'm going to show you guys what I would do with this next piece. And by the way, my ruby red, big, huge, gigantic blood drop, still wet. Still wet, I can tell, so I have to do that. So let me just put this in the light. So this is that exquisite marble. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Love it. I do, Audrey, I do hold my breath when I cut using scissors. Could you tell? Because I wasn't able to talk. All right, so in order to set this up, I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I'm going to use the 1/2-inch strip. So I'm just going to take this 1/2-inch strip and just put it around over the side. So let me show you the card that I am working from. And that is this card. So what I did to finish this, and I know the background's different, and I explained that before, that I'm sorry, don't look here, that's a discontinued one, but I would use the Exquisite Marble, is I had this as a graduation card because I think it's fabulous. And I think that you could use this with a bunch of different colors. So whatever your child or your grandchild, or even just somebody in the neighborhood who's graduating, you could, what is the local high school or college or wherever we're graduating from, and you could change this up and add those colors. And I think that that's really, I think it's so cool. And I like the fact that it's a way to really personalize things. This die set, and I don't know if I put this in, but this one is a really awesome die set. And that's this gigantic U. The U doesn't really fit portrait wise. It really only fits landscape, and you can see it fits perfectly landscape. And so this just gets this really beautiful card, and you get this nice place where you can write a message. And I have to say, when I've given these cards to my students, they have really cherished them, and they've come back from college and told me, they said, I took your card to school, and all the advice and all the little things that you gave me, all the little bits and pieces, I stuck to it, and I thought it was fabulous. So the You Matter is really great. And I'm just going to open this up to show you what's in here. So I pulled the So Proud of You, and this right here, the You and the So Proud of You, and even the red border, that is all ruby red. So I took my ink here, and I just used the coral berry and the ruby red to make a little bit of an ombre effect. And then I used my 1/2-inch piece here and put that in. I know. Thanks, guys. I really thought this card, I'm so excited. I know exactly who I'm going to give it to, and I think she's going to be so excited for this card to have that for graduation. And the other thing that we worked on today was the Vibrant Florals, and you can just see, and I apologize if this is not stuck down, but you can just see the gorgeous shine that you get from the foil. So these Altenew foils, go ahead and throw them in your cart. I just wanted to show, again, this is tape. This is the 1/2-inch tape that you can put on there, and you can still get that, that really, really great look. All right, so I just wanted to, I'm going to pop up here just to say thank you guys so much for coming today. Thank you so much for being fabulous and crafting with me today. I'd love to see your projects. Please make sure that you send a hashtag for Altenew so we can see what it is that you're doing. And thank you so much to Han, who is behind the badge today. Just checking on everything and putting some links in. And I hope you guys have a super fabulous day. And thank you for spending a little bit of time. And thank you for letting Altenew be a part of your crafty life. We really appreciate you. And everybody, you have a fabulous week.